Welcome to Missions Moments, and I am pleased to say that I'm standing along the Penobscot River this morning, going for a stroll, doing my due diligence to keep society safe from germs and infection and disease and all that happy stuff. And but it's a beautiful Sunday morning. I don't know if you've had a chance to catch Pastor Stanford's message this morning, but if you haven't, you need to. Really powerful stuff there, and I'm grateful to have a church that is not hiding underneath, hiding with its head buried in the sand here, that we are an active church and that we're continuing to minister and share the love of God with others. And we were talking last week about just looking at the different countries around the world and how the church is responding to the COVID outbreak. And we heard from Damaris and Roger Kellogg last week, sharing with us what's happening in Guatemala and Central America. And this week we spent some time talking and looking at what's going on in Europe right now. And I'm happy to say that as with here and as with other parts of the world, they're not, curling up into a ball. The church is active and is serving, and that's just fantastic. I mean, people are reaching and helping other people. Food is being distributed. There are people that are helping others to get to certain things or to deliver certain items and provide the services that are needed for those who are in need. And people are communicating with each other. Churches are talking to each other. Members are touching base with each other, maybe more than they have before, maybe more than they have outside of church before. And so it's awesome to hear this. I've looking at churches from around the European arena. You see that Spain, Germany, France, the Netherlands, Albania, parts of really the whole church across the globe right now is their church is still happening. They may not be having it face to face, but they're using technology and the internet to provide or video record or to stream services and Bible studies and such. They're using things like GoToMeeting or WebEx or Zoom to perform Sunday school and Bible studies. This is just awesome stuff. And for those who don't have technology, they're still recording audio discs, or they're providing paper accounts of the sermons or the Bible studies so that people can read along and study along. So God has been amazing through this, and I'm just proud and happy and feel really blessed to be part of a church that will continue to be the church. Reverend Anthony Holloman, who is the DS for the Netherlands district of the Nazarene Church, had this to say, and I think it represents very well. And that is, he said, "We do not focus on the limitations, but on the opportunities that this crisis provides." What a great statement. I have a letter that I received a couple of days ago from the Board of General Superintendents for the Church of the Nazarene, and I thought it would be worth repeating it. I'm not sure how it's being distributed, but I thought it was important because there's some words of wisdom, encouragement, and a thought on prayer and the directions of how we should be praying over this situation. And so I want to share that with you now. And the letter goes as follows. "Even though these are challenging times, this past weekend were a blessing in the Church of the Nazarene, as worship services from around the world were broadcast through live stream or by video. Many churches reported reaching more people than ever before with the hope of Jesus Christ. People who would not normally feel comfortable entering a church building, entered into a digital space, and encountered grace and peace. We give thanks to the Lord for this. Amen. We are also deeply appreciative of the efforts so many of our churches are making to serve the needs around them in creative ways. We have seen so many examples of creative responses from a congregation in Maine, USA, stepping up to fill the gap for food deliveries to the elderly, to the Cape Verdean Nazarene pastors who were invited to bring a worship service to the country via a national television station, to Sunday school classes, meeting by video conferencing, to a drive-in church where people drove to a parking lot and worshiped in their cars, as the pastor and worship leaders led from outside platform, to a youth group in Ohio, USA, who decided to bring joy to people living in a senior care center through a drama program. Now, they did this from outside, of course. These are just a few of the many stories we could share. All these are testaments to the faithfulness of God and the creativity of our people. Extraordinary times demand extraordinary means. Some have asked for suggestions of how to pray during this season of COVID-19. Here are a few ways to focus your intercession. Number 1, pray for wisdom for the leaders of your countries, states, or provinces and cities. Ask God to give them good counsel and wise discernment to know what is needed to protect their citizens. Pray for other countries besides your own that may be faced with difficult and complex situations, unlike what you are experiencing. Every region of the world is seeking to weather the pandemic. Number 2, pray for the protection of medical professionals and healthcare workers laboring to care for the sickest and to those most needy. Pray for divine understanding and supernatural strength from God for their daily tasks. Many are facing a shortage of the most basic medical supplies. Pray for researchers, scientists, and manufacturers who are working to find cures and produce treatment equipment. Pray for healing and comfort for those who are sick, lonely, and afraid, particularly the most vulnerable and endangered. This includes the elderly, those with chronic pre-existing health conditions, those without adequate health care, and those who are isolated due to quarantines. Number 4, pray for those most at risk economically. The entire world is confronted with enormous financial implications, but for those who are single-income families, those caring for children and older parents at home, those who are self-employed, those who are in the service industry, and many others, this is a especially devastating time. Number 5, pray for your pastors and church board leaders to know how to navigate the ministries and missions of the local church with a balance of caution, courage, and compassion. Pastors are frontline caregivers and shepherds of the people of God. If you are able, remember to support your church financially during a time when public meetings are not possible. Number 6, pray for the church around the world, including those of other traditions and denominations. While we ask God to bring an end to the pandemic, we also pray that the church will find ways to serve, comfort, and love our neighbors for the sake of Christ and the healing of the world. Phineas Bresee dreamed of a worldwide church when he said, "The sun never sets on the Church of the Nazarene." Today, that dream is a reality. We can literally cover the earth in our prayers 24 hours a day. Let's be faithful to that calling. Now to him who is able to do immeasurably more than all we ask or imagine, according to his power that is at work within us, to him be the glory in the church and in Jesus Christ throughout all generations, forever and ever. Amen. Ephesians 3:20 and 21. Grace and peace to you all, the Board of Superintendents. And I'd like to add one more thing to that prayer list, which is, Father, how can you use me to do your work and meet the needs of our world in this time of need? The church is active, folks, and it's gaining momentum during this time of separation and change. Let's be a part of it. Pray that God will do amazing things, that he will use us, protect us, be a blessing to others, and open all of our eyes to him. Well, we hope you guys will all have an amazing and blessed week. We love you, we miss you, and we're praying for you. God bless you. See you next week.